Enemies, you feeling the vibe. Feel that? The bell rung, you already been subscribed. Right now, the queen, she on live. Right now, please pull over the whip, no phoning when you drive. Dope Soul sporting with the talk. First lady from New York, Brooklyn. All my people, you rocking with the chat. Hit that. The like button would tell me where you at. You know, step from the MBK. Born and raised up MBK. Hey, real lady, where she holding it down. No matter way how you feel, she gon' greet you with a smile.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Oh, sister, it's time you
That's
shine. Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
What?
Dope Soul.
What?
Your soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Salute, Knick family. How we feeling this morning? Welcome to the channel, Dope Soul Sports Talk, Dope Soul Knicks Talk, and welcome to the morning show. I'm your host, Stephanie English, also known as the Queen. I don't know if I could ever get used to that, but I appreciate the name. Anyway, the Knicks lost 4 games in a row in Dallas in a game in which they were up 9 points with 33 seconds left. Now, they played that game without Brunson. They played that game without RJ Barrett, who played, I think, 1 minute and 36 seconds before leaving with a lacerated finger. Grimes had to step up. Robinson had to step up. A lot of things went the Knicks' way, in that regard. But there were some things that didn't go their way. I mean, Luka with a 60-point, 20 rebound, triple-double, and a little luck. And the Knicks, Knicks helping them out down the stretch. I want to show this tweet by Tim McMahon before I get fully into the show. And shout out to everybody rocking with me today. Let me get to that first. Sharon, JJ, Ashley Eekwan from the West Coast. Appreciate you, Wiz. Deron Wayne, Pudge Nice, Quality Jumper, Angel Torres, Wonder Woman. Been a minute, I think. I appreciate you. King Ribby, RM, happy holidays to everyone. Some people celebrate Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, so it's still a holiday season for you guys. Happy holidays. All right, tweet of the day, Tim McMahon. NBA teams were 0 and 13,884 in the last 20 seasons when trailing by at least 9 with 35 or fewer seconds remaining, per ESPN stats info. Luka Doncic and the Mavs pulled off a miracle, and the Knicks helped him a little bit. All right, let's get into it. Coming into the game, the Knicks were 18-16, 6th in the Eastern Conference, 7-3 over their last 10, but haven't lost 3 straight. Dallas Mavericks was also 8-16 coming into the game. Were they also 6th? I'm not sure if that's correct. In the Western Conference, 5-5 over the last 10, but haven't won their last 3. So they've been playing well. We started Emmanuel quickly. Brunson didn't play. We started Quentin Grimes, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson. Brunson and Toppin was out. For them, it was Luka Doncic, Spencer Dinwiddie, Tim Hardaway Jr., Christian Wood, Dwight Powell, and Dorian Finney-Smith was out for them. The Knicks only played 8 in this game. We'll talk about it some more. Barrett went out again with the finger laceration with under 2 minutes. And I thought this was a prime time to extend the rotation. And basically what happened was McBride got RJ's minutes. I think McBride played over 40 minutes in the game. Anyway, let's get to it. Grimes, 33.6 rebounds, 4 assists, hit 7 3-pointers, 2 for 3 from the free throw line. Grimes is really coming into his own. Talk about playing well. That was Grimes. Obviously we know that he can hit the 3 off the catch, but he was putting the ball on the floor, going to the rim, showing his playmaking skills. Played Luka, okay, but Luka busted up everybody on this team. Bottom line, I mean, Grimes is giving up height, strength. There's no way to really contest Luka's shot because he's what, 6'7", I believe 6'8", and he fades away on it, and he has a high release point, right? So it's not really much you can do with him. But overall, though, I thought Grimes was really, really good. I mean, RJ Barrett went out. Who's going to step up? Who's going to step up for the Knicks? And Grimes was one of the, one of them who did that for us. And also, went to the line 3 times, made 2 of them. Randle, 29 points, 18 rebounds, 4 assists, 5 3-pointers, 2 of 4 from the free throw line. Listen, talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. I love the way Randle is playing right now. I love the way he played in this game for the most part, in the sense of the recognition now. Recognizing I have a smaller guy on me. I'm going to take him into the post. I'm going to drive to the basket. Matter of fact, I'm going off this pick and roll. I know, chances are it's going to be a switch, and I'm going to have a smaller guy on me. So the recognition in his game, I'm loving it. His shot diet, where he's taking his shots from, I love it. The 3-point shots, how can you argue with it? I think he took 11 of them. He made 5. He's no longer taking them early in the shot clock. He's taking them within the flow of the game. So he's playing well. Without, Randle, we're not even in that game. However, in overtime, he missed 2 free throws. I believe in the last game, he also missed clutch free throws. Think about the Indiana game. We could talk about Brunson and what Brunson did, and we needed that. But the key to that game was, in those clutch moments, Randle hit 6 out of 6 free throws. When you're trying to close out games, it's the little things. And maybe they were tired, and we'll talk about that because they are logging a lot of minutes. So we can talk about that as well. But the free throw shooting down the stretch in this game from, Randle was not there. And I also thought, let me know, you could disagree. I also thought, was it the 4th quarter and overtime? I just felt like he wasn't demanding the ball the way he needed to. There's no Brunson. There's no RJ Barrett. You passing the ball quickly to Grimes? He may have been tired. But for me, if you're tired, I'd rather you take the shots and miss them because you're tired than to give them up and let some, like a Grimes or a McBride or even an IQ take the shot. So in my opinion, I thought he shied away from demanding the ball and taking shots in the 4th quarter and in overtime. Let me know what you think about, that. I know some people will say, this is what we wanted from him. We don't want him to force it. We want him to play within the flow of the game. I agree with that. But there are times in crunch time where you have to get the ball to your best players. And we can argue whether that's Brunson or Randle. But last night, there was no Brunson. There was no RJ. So I really thought he shied away. And going 0 for 2 from the free throw line was unacceptable. Was he tired? Maybe. We'll get into that. Maybe he was tired. Robinson, 20 points, 16 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, 4 for 8 from the free throw line. So can we start with Robinson can't rebound because he's away from the basket? Can we start with that? He rebounded well. He had 7 offensive rebounds. He had 9 defensive rebounds. The game against Philly, forgot how many rebounds, but he was double figures in rebounds. And on the defensive end, he rebounded very well, right? The Knicks are giving up less second chance opportunities because guys are rebounding extremely well on the defensive end. And that's what Robinson did last night. He had 7 points also in the 1st quarter. They actually went to him, in the post, in the key, and he made a little move and laid it up. They went to him again another time in the 1st quarter, and he got fouled. So are we seeing the evolution of Mitchell Robinson's game? We'll see. 1 assist, 2 steals, play really hard out there. IQ, 13 points, 15 rebounds, One steal, only one turnover. 13 points, 15 assists. It says rebounds here. 15 assists, one turnover. 15 assists to one turnover. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Didn't shoot well from the field. 5 from 21 overall. 1 for 10 from the 3-point line. This is my thing with Quickly, though. And let me know if you think I'm being too critical. Down the stretch, my preference is for Quickly not to have the ball. My preference is for Brunson to have it, even over Randle. But the pecking order would be Brunson, Randle, RJ, Quickly down the stretch of a game, right? I just feel like he dribbles too much. I just feel like that recognition of what we need, the type of shot we need at this particular point in the game, is not really a part of his thought process. And I'm not knocking him for it. I think, we were shorthanded. So sometimes you have to press players into roles or positions that they're not really cut out for just yet. But because you're shorthanded, you pressed into duty. Obviously without Brunson, then without RJ, IQ was pressed into duty. And I think if it's a game where it's not close going down the stretch, he's fine. And I'm not in any way, shape, or form blaming this game on Quickly, right? You could take just in general, anytime there's a loss, there's good things, there's bad things, and there's ugly, And you could say that for the game in general. You could say that for the coach. You could say that for, a particular player. It's usually not black and white. You usually don't lose the game on one thing, right? But for me, Quickly, I thought in terms of, the assists, not turning the ball over, I thought that was great. Down the stretch, in my opinion, I would have liked to have seen Rose. Now, Rose has not been the sharpest knife in the drawer either. I was just hoping that with his experience, he closed out the fourth quarter, maybe an OT. But then who you taking out? You taking out IQ or you taking out McBride? I would have just liked somebody else handling the ball down the stretch other than IQ. Let's talk about the bench a little bit. What there is left of a bench, right? Cam is out of the rotation. Fournier is out of the rotation. Brunson didn't play. RJ didn't play. RJ usually runs with that second unit. So now basically you're down to 3 players. No, actually, it was still 9. Okay, it was still 9. It was still 9. McBride, I thought, didn't shoot well. 4 for 14 for the field. 1 for 10. 1 for 9, from the 3-point line. Did not shoot well. However, did he not come up clutch in terms of his free throw shooting in that fourth quarter? I believe he was 5 for 6. He missed 1. And they were targeting him, right? They were trying to keep the ball out of Quickly's hand, trying to keep it out of Randle's hand, give it to McBride, right? He hasn't been in these situations before. He's playing 46 minutes. This must be new for him. And what did he do? He went and he hit 5 of 6 free throws. After playing, he played 46 minutes last night, which is a lot. Which is a lot. So kudos to McBride. Again, I do think I would have liked to have seen Rose in there down the stretch, but who do you take out? So I get it. iHeart, 11 minutes, 5 points, 1 rebound. Wasn't his better game in my opinion. Derrick Rose only played 12 minutes, 5 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. Jericho Sims, 13 minutes, 2 points, 8 rebounds in 13 minutes. 3 of them offensively, 5 of them defensive. That's what I like to see. Even if you're not getting a lot of minutes, I do like to see what you're doing with the little bit of minutes that you are getting. And I like what Sims did, with his minutes. I'm going to talk a little bit about Dallas, and then I'll check in with the chat. Doncic, 60 points, 21 rebounds, 10 assists, 2 steals, went to the free throw line 22 times, hit 16. When a player, I mean, we could sit here and talk about the Knicks should have double teamed. I would have liked to have seen some double teaming to get the ball, out of his hands. But I will say this. Once a player gets it going, it doesn't even matter what you do. You shoot a double team, you send a double team, he passes to somebody, he cuts, he gets it back, he shoots the shot. I mean, once the player gets rolling, it's not really much you can do for him to stop him. The Knicks had absolutely no answer. Grimes was too small. McBride was too small. I thought Randle can match him in height. Maybe Randle could have played him a little more. I thought Randle did a decent job of staying in front of him, but that's a big ask. When you got Brunson out, you got RJ out. So now you want Randle to, lead offensively. Thank goodness Grimes and Robinson showed up to help. McBride as well with 14 points. And you want him to play Luka Doncic most of the game. Like that's just not going to happen. There's no team that asks their best player to do that for the entirety of the game. Though he did get some time on him. There was just nothing you could do. And that offensive rebound putback was a miracle. It was a miracle. I mean, it hit 2 Knicks hands. It fell over to the left. He moved to the left. He got it. He put it. I mean, like the chances of that happening, like they said, like it was 0 and 13, almost 14,000. But it did, and part of that was the Knicks not securing the rebound. Somebody in the chat said, they would have liked to have seen Sims, in the game at that time to help secure the rebound. I can't argue with that. With that as well, because he's going to try to miss the second shot, and you want to have your best rebounders in there. However, I think Mitch and Randle was in the game. Like, so you got Mitch and Randle down. I mean, who are you taking out to put Sims down there? You taking Mitch out? You taking Randle out? So I don't know. The Knicks just did not secure the rebound, point blank. And they did not hit free throws, point blank. However, I do think fatigue was a factor. Dinwiddie, 25.6 rebounds, 5 assists. He hit 3 threes. Woods, 19 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 blocks, 3 threes. Hardaway, 11 points, 5 rebounds. What I say, 3 fours? It seemed like it. 3 threes. The Knicks shot 43.7% from the field, 32% from the three-point line, only 62.5% from the free throw line. The Knicks took 24 free throws during the course of the game and hit 15. And I believe down the stretch, let me see if I can get to that. Down the stretch, I want to say they took 15 and made, we'll get to it. I have it here somewhere. Yeah, they 7 for 15 in the fourth quarter in overtime. 7 for 15. And again, I'm not saying that's the only reason why they lost. There was some missed communications in terms of, I don't know if it was miscommunication, but just not closing out hard enough on a few threes in that fourth quarter in overtime. There was the missed rebounds, the missed free throws, the fatigue, not extending the rotation. There was a lot to go around. But let me check in with the chat. Drip more, appreciate you. Hope all is well with you and your fam. Reminds me when Coach Pop left Duncan out for rebound in finals, and Bosch got rebound, uncontested pass to Jesus Shuttleworth, and you know the rest. Damn. Yeah. AJ No Queen with 4 seconds left. We needed Mitch, Randle, iHeart, Sims, and maybe Grimes to go for that rebound, not Deuce McBride. No, not necessarily, because you also got to think about long rebounds as well. And if there's a long rebound, your bigs playing at the top of, playing the free throw position next to the shooter may or may not get it. So if there's a long rebounder rebound, you definitely want to have some quick, agile guards in there that can get the long rebound. So I'm not sure about having iHeart and Sims playing in that spot. S. Brooklyn, appreciate you. The refs were terrible down the end of the game. They bailed Luka out more than once. And where was the foul on the putback? How does Randle go to the basket hard and get no fouls? Yeah. I mean, that's at home and away. I don't know if it's because the Knicks play really physical and they have a hard time figuring out who's initiating a contact. I'm not sure what it is, but you're absolutely right. I don't think that it's the same contact that gets the opposing player a foul is different than the contact that gets the Knicks to the foul line. Definitely. All right. I see some Cam. Listen, I would have liked to have seen this rotation extended, especially when RJ went out. Bring Cam in. Even bring Fournier in. I know people want to say, "Oh no, not Fournier. He's the worst defensive player." Keep in mind, the Knicks were the 11th ranked defense last year, and Fournier was in that starting lineup. You can hide one player that's not that great on defense, and you can't tell me that he's worse than RJ Barrett on defense. You know what I mean? So those guys, there's a difference between being situational and under no situation are you getting in the game. And I feel like that's where we're at with Cam and Fournier, that they're not just situational. It's like you're not getting in the game no matter what. I don't know if that's a mandate from the front office because they're trying to trade them. They don't want them to get injured. I don't know what it is, but this is a game. Forget defending Luka, right? You could talk about putting height on Luka. Maybe that would have bothered him, maybe. But you would have had to do that early. Once a guy gets going, it doesn't matter who you put on him. It's a wrap, right? But just in terms of bringing guys minutes down so that down the stretch, they're a little more fresh, right? I would have liked to have definitely seen that the rotation extended. And even Rose, I would have liked to have seen him get 46 minutes for McBride. 46? He wasn't balling like that. He definitely hit the free throws down the stretch in that fourth quarter. He went 5 or 6. But for the game, he was 1 for 10 from the free throw, from the 3-point line. And he was 4 for 14 from the field. And I get it. His defense was good. But this is the thing with the Knicks. The Knicks got these defensive players that's not good shooters, or they got shooters that's not good defenders. And when you're a coach, you got to look down and you be like, oh, do I want to put this guy in? He's going to help us offensively, but he's going to give up something defensively. Or I'm going to go with this guy who's going to give us something defensively, but tonight he's just not hitting the side of a barn. Like this is the decisions that have to be made. The Knicks need two-way players that can both shoot and defend, right? Which would make these decisions easy. But maybe the Knicks, maybe it would have been better to give up a little defense for a little more offense and roles, but for a little more leadership down the stretch. Jarvis Williams, this is the comment that I was basing what I just said off of. 6'8" Cam, 6'7" Evan, both set the entire game. Tibbs literally played 1-4 with 3 centers and 4 guys the entire game, running them into exhaustion. Yeah, they were definitely and I'm not really one to put a lot into tiredness and exhaustion, and that's why you missing free throws. 46 minutes. Somebody I think played 50 minutes or 48. Like that's really that's a lot. And it's not just one game. This has been happening, over, multiple games. Pudge Nice, Randle choked. I don't know about choked. I wouldn't say that, but I do think that he could have demanded the ball a little bit more in the fourth quarter and in overtime. I just thought, usually you'll see him run into the post and be really adamant that he wants the ball. I didn't really see a lot of that. Was he tired? Maybe. But like I said earlier, I think even if you're tired, you still take the shots. You know, hey, I missed them because I was tired, but I wanted the ball. You know, there was one possession he passed it to quickly passed it to McBride. I mean, that's also an indication of just how short-handed the Knicks was. But still. Dwayne Dennis, the Knicks have caught a lot of breaks with star players out injured. I don't believe that. I really believe that the Knicks have been playing, really good basketball over that 8-game streak. Paris Duggar, appreciate Super Channel. Very painful, but a great experience for the kids. I could care less. I got to be honest. I could care less about experience for the kids. Bottom line. I'm not interested in the kids getting experience, right? This is not prep school. This is the NBA. So I'm supposed to be happy that the Knicks lost a 9-point lead with 34 seconds because McBride played 46 minutes. Is this about the Knicks or is this about McBride? This is about the Knicks. The front office has made a decision and they've doubled down on it and they tripled down on it. We can break this down. We can identify who our young core is, and we could prioritize their development over winning basketball games. The Knicks had ample opportunities in the draft and other points along the way to do that, and they did not do that. From what I see, what the Knicks are saying is we're going to keep improving this team over time until we eventually evolve into a championship contender. And if there's a young guy that can help us win, we're going to play him. If not, we're not. Bottom line. So I'm not happy that McBride got 46 minutes. We lost. Period, period, point blank. And trust and believe, if the Knicks have an opportunity to upgrade this roster and McBride or Sims or somebody else is part of it, I would be surprised if the Knicks say, no, we're not making this trade because we don't want to give up a McBride or Sims. I would be shocked. Shot Powers, we missed 9 free throws. We hit 5 more. We win. Same in Bulls game. Yeah. I mean, do you think I'm putting too much on the free throws? I just feel like to close games, you gotta be, it's a game of inches. And to close, you gotta be really good, especially if you don't have a star. Oh, you have to be really good. The Knicks out-rebounded Dallas, but the key rebounds that we needed, we didn't get. Right? Dallas shot 28.3% from the three-point line. They only made 13 threes. They took 46 of them. They made 13. Right? But the 1 or 2 of them, so that either they missed or the Knicks defended the 3 very well. And I think it was a mixture of both. However, in the last, in that fourth quarter, when Woods hit that 3, where was the defender? Randle was like 3 feet off of him. All right, maybe he was tired, but I just feel like you want to win and you're down. You just got to sell out. You just got to sell out. Yeah, I agree. Every contender has a young player or 2 in the rotation right now, but look at what their role is. Look at where their role is. What defense are we playing when one guy scores 60 points? Listen, we haven't had a star in so long, but sometimes you forget that when you have players like this, it's not really much you could do. I do think, maybe the Knicks should have sent the double team. I would have done that. I would have liked to have seen Tibbs call a double team, get the ball out of Luka Doncic's hand. That being said, even with his career night, the Knicks were right there. So I know sometimes when you're coaching, you say that. Should we send a double team? I mean, he's not really, he's scoring 60, but we're right there. The Knicks were up 9 points with 32 or 33 seconds left, right? So Brunson was doing, Luka was doing Luka things, but the Knicks was still in the game. That rebound, that missed shot, and that rebound that fumbled around and found it into his hands, like that's a 1 in a million shot. That's a 1 in a million shot, But that being said, not securing that rebound and others, not contesting the 3-point shot, not hitting, your free throws. Tibbs not extending the rotation, so guys are not playing, extended minutes. All of those things make a difference. Rose not closing the game. Say what you want, about IQ. I thought in terms of his assist to turnover ratio, excellent. But for me, he just dribbles the ball a bit too much for my liking. Bring it down. Let's get into our sets. Move it. One time he just dribbled it all out, then passed it to, I don't know if it was Grimes or McBride for a shot with like a few seconds left. I mean, come on. And I'm not trying to bang on him, but sometimes there's the stats and there's the game. Same thing with Randle, 29 points, 18 rebounds, 4 assists, 5 threes, right? He missed 2 free throws. Didn't want the ball down the stretch, in my opinion. All right. Let's move on to the team stats. There's only 2 things I want to highlight here. And that is, and I said this actually earlier, the Knicks 55 rebounds, Dallas 47. But just keep this in mind when we're watching the game. Sometimes is when you get those rebounds. You know what I mean? You look 15 rebounds, that's great. And it is great. We needed about 1 or 2 more. We needed 1 or 2 more rebounds. And the same thing, and the same thing with the free throw shooting. 62.5% from the free throw line. It's a game of inches, especially when you're down 2 players. You got to be you got to be good. You got to be more on point down the stretch. In terms of points in the paint, 48 for us, 50 for them. Second chance points. The Knicks had 27 second chance points. Dallas had 11. But there was a key one, right? When Luka hit it to tie the game up. And this is what I'm saying. You look at a player and they have, 30 points. When did they get those points? Was it timely shooting? Did they get those points when we really needed them, to get those points? That's important. The win is important, as well. So let's get into the good, the bad, the ugly. And like I said, for any game, there's going to be good things, bad things, ugly things. It's hard to just put it on one thing. But this was the good thing, in my opinion. Brunson ain't playing this game. RJ went out with less than 2 minutes left. Who else was going to score on this team? Randle, thank goodness, didn't have a clunker, of the game. Really took it to Dallas. Really, like I said earlier, recognized when he had someone smaller on him, took it to the basket, posted up. His recognition was awesome last night. But Grimes and Mitchell Robinson filled in admirably. And McBride, McBride and Quickly as well. Even though McBride and Quickly didn't shoot as well, they did give us points and we needed them. But Grimes, you just really get a sense of the type of player he could become if he continues to work on his craft. He's really quick. He's a little thicky in my opinion, but he's really quick. He's really quick with his hands. He's really quick with his feet. He has that first step, that burst to get to the rim, and also the recognition. He doesn't have tunnel vision. When he's going to the basket, he sees other players. I think it was he drove. I believe it was Mitchell Robinson he saw, for the dunk. I'm really liking everything about Quentin Grimes. I really am. He had a tough assignment. He just had a tough assignment. And this is the thing. I know somebody in the chat also said, we need a taller wing player. Yeah, we might. We might. We just don't really have the length, on the perimeter. However, I don't want length just to have length. Just to say we have a 6'8" player who has the tools. We need somebody that's out there. We need a dog. If you're going to be 6'8" and you're going to have the length, you need to be a very good perimeter defense. You can't just look the part. You have to be the part. And that's what the Knicks need. Now, what that means for RJ or what that means for Grimes is the Knicks are able to find that player, or maybe that player comes off the bench, But I agree. We could stand for some length at the wing position, but it has to be somebody that can actually play defense and impact the game on the defensive end, and please be able to shoot. Like right now, we got defensive players can't shoot. We got shooters that can't defend. 3-and-D players. All right. So I thought that was a good thing in the game last night, the way Grimes stepped in and the way Mitchell Robinson stepped. 16 rebounds. 9 of them on the defensive end. They threw the ball down to him a few times. He made a move in the paint. Yes, Mitchell Robinson. Yes. So I thought, I thought that was the good IQ with 15 points and 1 turnover, and I don't want to, when I talk about him managing the game, I don't want that to overshadow 15 assists, 1 turnover. I said 15 points, 15 assists, 1 turnover. Like, that's huge. That is huge. And the bad was just not being able to close out the game, not being able to get, key rebounds, giving up key, key 3-pointers and not expanding the rotation. RJ went out. You have to expand the rotation. So I'm not sure, again, if Tibbs is mandated by the front office not to play these guys, but you got to, and again, if that wasn't the case in a game like this, we needed them. And the ugly, in my opinion, was not having any leadership out there, in my opinion, in the fourth quarter and in overtime. 7 of 15 free throws shooting in the fourth quarter and overtime. It's just not going to get it done. The Knicks need reinforcements. And if those reinforcements are not going to come off the bench, right? Like, I don't have any problem with Cam Reddish being in the rotation. I don't even have a problem with Fournier being in the rotation, right? If the reinforcements are not going to come from players that's already on this team, then the front office has to bring in reinforcements, right? I know Obi is coming back, but we got to ask ourselves, that bench to me is just a bit, it's just a bit clunky. The defenders that can't shoot, shooters that can't defend. Iheart, who I liked when the Knicks signed him, really not being used to his strengths on the offensive end. A really good rebounder, defensively good position rebounder, but he's not stopping anybody. So in my opinion, I do think the Knicks need reinforcement. Who that is, I don't know. What is it going to take? I don't know. But I feel like the Knicks have the makings of a good team. And you guys may disagree with me, but when fully healthy, I think they have the makings of a good team. But we need some more shooters and defenders, and preferably in the same body on this team. Knicks will be 2026 NBA champs. Well, so we're going into 2023. That's 3 more years. So 3 more years to retool this roster. Not just retool the roster, but to take your necessary lumps and actually win a championship. Let's see. There's a difference between being a team's best player, being a team leader. Randle tries to lead, but his teammates don't respond. That's part of being a leader. Your teammates respond to you. I'm not going to even get into Randle's not a leader. What I was referring to is down the stretch, you want to have somebody handling the ball that knows what you need. That's part of their thought process. What do we need at this particular point in time? And they're able to organize the team to do that. I don't really have a problem with Randle's leadership. Everybody is not a rah-rah leader. Pudge Nice need a starting small forward, backup point guard, backup power forward for Randle, and a legit stretch 5 to compete. Well, yeah, if you're talking about competing for a championship, I don't know if I disagree with that, you know. D977, appreciate you. We need a star. We're good on role bench players, yeah, and we may have to give some of them up to do it. E. Gibson, appreciate you. I don't think this front office is capable of building a winner, scouting talent, or landing elite free agents. We need a change in direction. Yeah, I don't know if I disagree. I don't know if I disagree with that. You know, I've had my own issues with the front office as well. You know, they did bring in Grimes. They did bring in Sims. They did bring in McBride. But these guys are rotation pieces, role players. They've yet to land a star, whether that's through the draft, whether that's through free agency. Well, free agency is over right now. Unless they create some space, they're not going to be players in free agency. But even through a trade, they just haven't been able to do it thus far. Keith Turner, we need everything! Exclamation point. D Nice Luka basically won the game by himself with some help from the Knicks. As well. Free throws, not getting the defensive rebounds, giving up key 3-pointers, not pressing up, you know. Julius is having a great season. He is. He definitely is. Sean Kearns, appreciate you. Hello, Queen. This game is what the fans wanted. Okay, the young players. Young players will sometimes lose the game for you. Also, Tibbs overplayed the starters and not go to that bench. But what bench to go to? I mean, McBride played 46 minutes. You want Sims to play more minutes? You want iHeart to play more minutes? I would have liked Rose to play more minutes. These guys are limited. You know, so I would like to play some players more minutes to kind of bring the minutes of the starters down. So yes, maybe had you played Sims more minutes, you know, you could bring Randle's minutes down, but you got to also think about it. So you do that. Say you bring Randle's minutes down from, let me see. Randle played, I don't know, 40 some odd minutes. So you bring his minutes down. Now you bring Sims minutes up. What are you doing offensively during that time? Sims is not scoring for you. So your defense would have to be lights out because you don't have, offensive players on the floor. And that's why I think when I say the Knicks need reinforcements, the Knicks need better players off the bench. I'm sorry, Knick family. You know, we just need better players off the bench that can also defend. But give you some points here and there, you know, and perhaps what Tibbs is thinking is, you know, we're up in this game, but if I take these key players out, we might lose the lead. Tough, tough choice. Let me get to Paris Duggar. Painful doesn't mean happy. Who said be happy? A lot of fans are happy. A lot of fans would be okay if we lost, as long as McBride and the young guys are getting more and more time. Jay Boogie, appreciate you. Last night was the first game that Julius went down the stretch without RJ and Brunson. That was a learning experience for him. Injuries took him out of what he's used to. It was a different look. I mean, yes, okay, I get that, but Randle has been in games before without Brunson. Randle has been the head of the snake before. I don't think it's a new role for him. Unless you're saying that, he hasn't really been, by himself this season and he forgot what it was like. Maybe, maybe. I still would have liked to have seen him be a bit more aggressive and wanting the ball down the stretch. But I do hear you and agree that it's definitely a different look when who are you playing off? You're not really playing off of anybody. You that guy. They playing off of you. Ajay, I have a question seriously. When Leon Rose goes to the office and sits there for 8 hours, what does he do? Listen, it's not easy to pull a trade. Now, I don't believe that the front office is fiddling their thumbs now. That part, I don't agree with it. I think they're trying. I think they're trying. What's out there? What are you willing to, what are you willing to give up? All right. This is where the Knicks are in the Eastern Conference. Before we get into our next game versus San Antonio, the Knicks are 18-17. They're still in the 6th spot due to a tiebreaker. And again, that 7th spot continues to rotate. One time it was Miami, then it was Atlanta. Right now it's Indiana, tied with the Knicks. But I believe the Knicks have the tiebreaker, which is why the Knicks are in 6th place right now. For me, it's real early. This really doesn't matter to me right now. That the Knicks clinging to the 6th spot. The Knicks have to play better. The Knicks have to learn how to close games. If the Knicks don't do that, they're going to find themselves probably in 11th or 12th, right? The Chicago Bulls is not going away. The Washington Wizards are not going away. How many times have we seen teams after Christmas, after the All-Star break, make a run, right? So New York, Indiana, Miami, Atlanta, Toronto, Chicago, Washington. This can change over in terms of where they are now in the Eastern Conference standings. Over the course of the season, this is going to change multiple times, right? If the Knicks don't learn how to hit free throws and close games and do the little things down the stretch, they can find themselves in 8, 9, 10, 11, 12th place by the end of the season. Now, I don't think so. I think this is a learning experience. I think once the rotation is expanded, minutes come down, everybody is fully healthy, I think the Knicks are going to be just fine, right? But it's not a gimme. You actually have to, do it. All right, next game is at San Antonio Thursday. Right now, the Knicks are 18-17, still 6th in the Eastern Conference. Last 10 games, 6-4. They've lost 4 straight after winning 8 straight. But they're in those games. They haven't given up. They're fighting. They just have to close. Offensively, we're 10th in the NBA in offensive rating. We're 11th in the NBA in defensive rating. San Antonio was 11-23, 14 out of 15 teams in the Western Conference. They're 14th. Over the last 10, they've been 5-5. They lost their last game. They're 28th in offensive rating, 30th in defensive rating, right? They're starting Trey Jones, Devin Vassell, Jeremy Sohan, Keldon Johnson, and Jacob Portal is the starters for them. Will Brunson be back? I'm not sure. If not, it's going to be quickly. Grimes, RJ Barrett, will he be back? I don't know. If he's not, it'll probably be McBride, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson. This game is not a gimme. This game is not a gimme. They're 14th out of 15 teams in the Western Conference. Offensively and defensively, they're not great. It's easy to let down. It's going to be interesting to see what the Knicks' mental approach is coming into this game. Now, the Knicks are not at full strength. So, okay, you don't blow them out. You're not at full strength, especially if RJ doesn't play, if Brunson doesn't play, you're not at full strength. Guys are playing a lot of minutes. I get it. You don't have to blow them out, but you need to win this game. Period, point blank. You need to win this game, even with Quickly, Grimes, McBride, Randle, and Robinson. That's how, that's how I see it. Pudge Nice, I got us losing. Really? Wow. Wow. Knicks will be 2026 NBA champs. Knicks should win this game. Yes, if the Knicks are going to win a championship in 3 years, you got to win. You got to win this. You got to win this game. RJ, I would look to trade RJ. I don't think he's it. He's a 4 for last. I mean, even if he's not it, he's still a good basketball player, though. Randle ain't it either. You know what I mean? Like, none of these guys are a number one on a championship team. And even though I feel Brunson is a budding star, and you guys may not agree with me, I don't think he's a number one. So just because you're not a number one doesn't mean you can't be on the team and you can't contribute to a team. RJ Barrett, over the past 10 something games, averaging 25.6 rebounds, 3 assists. His turnovers are up a little bit, also on good percentages. I think he's 46.5% from the field, 42% from 3. His free throw shooting is down. I believe it's like 73% over the last 10, 11 games. He's a really good NBA player. And we're going to need that. On any championship team, you're going to need that. And what I'm seeing from RJ Barrett over the past, 10, 11 games is that the things that he does, which is going to the rim, catch and shoot threes, he's doing better. He's finishing at the rim better. He's hitting the catch and shoot threes better. He's even taking more pull-up shots. He needs to get better at that. So you're going to need players like that. So just because you're not a star doesn't mean that you're not a very good player. I think the consensus, there might be some people still holding out hope, but I think for most of us, some of us got it early, some of us a little later, but I think we can, basically say we don't think he's going to be a star or a superstar, but he's a very good NBA player. He can still improve, right? And you need those type of players. And so what I'm hoping the Knicks do, is bring in a star or two so that RJ and Randle, if they're still on the team, can move down in the pecking order, right? If they're still on the team, just move them down in the pecking order. But, chances are if we do get a star or two, one or both of them would have to go. And I'm not mad. I'm not mad. All right. Where to find me next? Thursday. And I keep saying this, and I haven't been able to actually figure out when the show is. I got to do a better job. My notifications is not being kind to me as of late, but I hope to be on an MBK pregame show Thursday when we're breaking down the San Antonio game. Then Friday, 9 a.m.-ish, 9:15, I'll be back with the morning recap of the San Antonio show. And then Friday, not Thursday, because the Knicks play Thursday. Friday, 9 p.m., the Just Nicking It show. Me, Jerrell, Stafford Don, hopefully Tsunami will be there. And anybody else who want to join, we're going with the first 6 to make it in. Can be on the show. So if you ever want to be on the show, just DM me. I would love to have you guys. I started in the chat. And then I got up the nerve to go on the MBK panel. And then I got up the nerve to start my own channel. So anybody who wants to be a panelist on the Just Nicking It show, go to Twitter, DM me, and you can definitely be on the show. We're just fans. We're just fans with our opinions, just like you guys are. It's just that you guys are letting us know your opinion in the chat. We're letting you know our opinion on the panel. That's all it is. So I would love to have you guys. All right, before I get out of here, let me shout out the chat. Shy Powers, 9 a.m.-ish. Yes. Pudge Nice, I appreciate you as well. Ajay, nothing but love. Hopefully you can make it Friday. East Blue Drew, appreciate you. Kevin Went, Keith Turner, King Ribby RM. Knicks will be 2026 NBA champs. I love it. Dwayne Dennis, Keith Turner, Jay Boogie, appreciate you always. Am I missed Gerald D. MacGyver? Appreciate you. Happy holidays. I think, am I missed Bo Ishmael? I appreciate you. D Nice 77. Andrew K. Andrew, I got to get better with your name. If you could send me like phonetically how to pronounce it, I would really like to learn that and give you your due. I appreciate you rocking with me. Sean Kearns, I appreciate you as well. Parish Duggar, I appreciate you. Ashley Inc. 1, I appreciate you. I think, is that everybody? I think that might be everybody. If I forgot you, at JJ, if I Deron Wayne, Quality Jumper, Angel Torres, Wonder Woman, I appreciate you. Cool, Kyle G. Sometimes you got to go back to the top building blocks. Tim Smith, for those that was in here early. Kenny Payne, Jay England. Jay England, if this your first time, I appreciate you. I think that's everybody. Until next time, family.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Sister, it's time you
That's
shine. Don't talk.
Where you at? Where you at?
Don't talk.